Hi, I'm Ivan Hunter. Let's explore fresh ways to handle challenges in music lessons and performance. Sometimes printed music has this symbol, usually in the top left corner of the page. What does it mean? At first glance, it might look like you're supposed to turn the printed simple quadruple 4/4 music into compound quadruple 12/8 time. But no, that's not it. If you treated it like a time signature exchange and played 4/4 music as 12/8, you'd end up sounding a bit like a Sousa march. It would sound like, "We want to march." Do you hear that this is all downstrokes? What the symbol is wanting the rhythm to be is, "We want to dance." Do you hear that this has a lift? That symbol is there to tell you that eighth notes should be played with the lilt of the swing feel rather than exactly half a beat or even strict triplet rhythm. It's not a formula or time signature exchange, it's a style indicator. If they wanted the piece to be in 12/8 time, they would have written it with a 12/8 time signature. This symbol is a key to the code which deciphers the rhythms differently to how they are played in regular concert music. Why do we need this? Music notation has been more or less the same for over 500 years. Classical works were usually written by composers who first imagined the music, then wrote it down for performers to play. Jazz, on the other hand, started as an oral tradition. People played the music long before they wrote it down. When it came to write it down, jazz musicians found it convenient to use the existing music notation system because it was already familiar. But swing rhythm doesn't quite fit into that classical box. So they came up with some clever workarounds, like this swing feel symbol. So no, that symbol isn't a formula to transform the music into another time signature. It's a signal to interpret the music with a swing feel. So, what is this swing feel? In short, it is a rhythm system closely related to the Iambic meter of colloquial English speech and much English poetry. Colloquial, it's how we always speak. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Poetry from William Blake. Tyger, Tyger, burning bright, in the forests of the night. And consider the beginning of Andy Razif's lyric from Fats Waller's Honeysuckle Rose, every honey bee. If you notate it as 4 eighth notes and a half note and pronounce it classically, we have every honey bee. If you say this in normal speech, it is every honey bee, almost 12/8 or triplets. If you say it slowly, every honey bee, almost dotted 8th, 16th notes. If you say this quickly, every honey bee, almost but not quite even 8th notes, because classical 8th notes at that speed would be every honey bee. So the ratio of long to short in 8th note groups changes. Also, it is very important to make an 8th note rest the same length as the actual note it replaces. As well as this reinterpretation of 8th notes, there are other things to be aware of. For instance, quarter notes are played short. There are many books that go into this style much deeper. I recommend Alan Raff's Dance Band Reading and Interpretation, and I would suggest listening to some of the early big bands like Fletcher Henderson or Duke Ellington to start to get a feel for and understanding of this swing style. Thanks for watching. I hope this gives you food for thought.